how is it going? Back again, another video. So today, this is a video I was going to do a very long time ago, but it didn't record properly. So about 6 months ago, even more, maybe 8 months ago, I was going to do my top 10 favourite directors, which I haven't done on the channel before. If you watch the channel, you may have a little idea of who's going to be in there. It's not, if you watch some of my videos, it's not hard to tell. But today, I'm going to run through them. I'll show physical media copies, of films that these directors have done. I'm not going to show all of the filmographies or anything because that'll take far too long. But I'll run through my top 10 favourite directors. Yeah, there's some I've left out. There's some great directors I've left out. Funnily enough, I don't have Tobe Hooper in my top 10, who actually directed my favourite film, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He's not in the top 10, but he's an honourable mention. Another honourable mention, I'll do Stuart Gordon. I like a lot of his stuff. He did stuff like this, Castle Freak, Reanimator, a number of good films, Day Gone. He's got Dreams in the Witch House, the Masters of Horror episode. But anyway, I'll start with my top 10. So, coming in at number 10, fairly new director. Well, he's been around since about 2015. I think that was his first feature, which is this one I'm going to show. And that is Roger Eggers. So, out of the newer directors, I think he has some of the best, flair, best shots, best cinematography. His films can be a bit of an acquired taste, I think. You've got The Witch, for example. I think it's a tremendous film, although some people find it a little bit uneventful. But it's all about the build and, the ending, it kind of goes pop and you've got a big finale and whatnot involving witchery. But yeah, I think it's fantastic. Love The Lighthouse. That's probably the best film he's done. That was such a good, weird, odd character piece. Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe did awesome in that film, especially Willem Dafoe. I know he's been cropping up in a few of Eggers' films, but I thought I'd include him in this list because I wanted to include someone a bit newer, and he's my favourite out of the newest. Now, I've not seen the Nosferatu remake. I need to get around to that, but what I have seen, The Northman, The Lighthouse, The Witch, those three films, spectacular. Really enjoyed The Northman. I thought it was a great kind of violent Viking epic. Could have been a little bit more eventful in places, but I just love his style. He's got a lot of style. Tells a good story, but very slow pace, a bit of a slow burn, storyteller. But yeah, just love his whole directing style and everything. Yeah, great pathos to his films as well. Just so good. Coming in at number 9 is Brian De Palma. Mainly for this, as it's my favourite non-horror film, Scarface, the Al Pacino one from the 80s. Love it. I still haven't watched it on 4K yet. I need to crack this open. Seen it on Blu-ray a number of times and DVD. But yeah, he's done so many good films. Dressed to Kill is a new one I've come on to last year, and I thought that was top tier stuff. You've got Carrie, that's a classic. You've got Blowout, another great film. There's a few I've not seen. Sisters is pretty good. It's a bit odd, but pretty good in its own way. But yeah, Brian De Palma, awesome director. Yeah, and I'd love to see more of his filmography. Phantom of the Paradise, that's a good musical, but I haven't seen everything he's done. But I would like to get around to that one. Watching more of Brian De Palma, so I have seen Phantom of the Paradise, but getting around to watching it. Coming in at number 8. Now, this guy does some odd films, a lot of body horror, and I've picked David Cronenberg at number 8. I haven't seen a bad film by him, I don't think. I haven't seen everything. I still need to watch Rabid. Shoot Me, I haven't seen it. I do own it, I just haven't seen it. I've actually seen the remake. But yeah, stuff like Videodrome, it's got such good social commentary on the media and things like that, and how it shapes and moulds us and alters our minds and things. And I think this is a really deep, spectacular film. It's got a lot to chew on. Not everybody's probably going to get it the first time round. I'm not sure if I even still completely understand Videodrome, but it's beautifully made. Some awesome ideas in there. It's very, like I say, great commentary, social commentary and on the media and how it affects us, television, etc. That's basically the theme of this film. But you got James Woods in it as well, who does a great performance. He's done some other great films as well. The Fly remake's absolutely out of this world with the special effects. What's it really called? The Brood, getting a 4K soon from Second Sight. The Brood, I thought was great. Trying to actually think. What other good ones has he done? I haven't seen Scanners, But yeah, so many good films, David Cronenberg. Solid filmography. Shivers, that may even be his first feature. That is just a lot of fun. But yeah, David Cronenberg at number 8. Now, one I've come on to in recent years. So, only really been watching these films probably for about 6 years. A bit late to the party on this one. But I'm going to put Mario Bava at number 7. One of the Italian maestros. I picked out $5 for an August Moon because I think this is just a cool as hell 70s flick, you know. Bit of a murder mystery, but he's done so many good films, from Giallo to old school black and white horror. I mean, you've got Black Sunday, Black Sabbath, a number of things that are just Blood and Black Lace. It's not black and white, but it's a great film. And yeah, just Hatchet for the Honeymoon I loved. I thought that was really great. You know, like, I just love his style. Another one with great style, and definitely one of the Italian maestros. Obviously, his son Lamberto's done some good movies. Not quite Mario Bava though, but yeah, picked out $5, and yeah, he's my number 7. So number 7, Mario Bava. I think I'm on the right course in the list anyway. Number 6, I picked out another phenomenal director. Now, think of him like as a human being what you may. I don't really care for that. I'm judging it on the movies alone. And I picked Roman Polanski. Now, this is Cul-de-sac. This is an interesting little oddity. Stars Donald Pleasence. Who else is in it? Not too familiar with the other actors, but I like the film a lot. Lionel Stander. Don't really know him from anything. Yeah, it's 112 minutes, but 1966, but Cul-de-sac, it's such a weird one. This couple are on, these crooks basically go to a couple's secluded house in the middle of nowhere on the seafront, and they're just basically holding them hostage, but in kind of like a friendly manner. Like, they've got an understanding. Like, Pleasence's character knows they're no good, but, you know, he's going to do what they ask in the meantime until he comes up with a way to counter them. But yeah, so many good movies. You've got The Tenant, which Roman Polanski starred in. Great sort of character piece, you know. Very weird though, like The Tenant. Get your head around that. I mean, I'm not sure if I fully have. Repulsion, another great film. Never watched The Pianist. Need to see that one. I do own it. I've never watched it though. Trying to think off the top of my head. I think he's done a Macbeth film, which I haven't seen, but what I have seen is phenomenal. Rosemary's Baby, of course, probably his best film. That's absolutely spectacular. Great film, Rosemary's Baby. But yeah, Roman Polanski, I had to include him. So he's my number 6 in my favourite directors. So number 5, I'm trying to run through it a bit for anything. So like number 5, I've gone with George A. Romero. So many good films. The original Dead trilogy, you know, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead. Of course, this one, Day of the Dead, my personal favourite in the Dead saga. You've got Monkey Shines, you've got The Dark Half, Bruiser, which I found quite fun. So many good movies. There's always Vanilla, you know, Arrow have released that. I don't know if I watched that one though. Season of the Witch I watched, not to get confused with Halloween 3. Thought it was an okay, like, little drama. You've got The Crazies, which I wasn't crazy about, unfortunately, but majority of films I love. I mean, there's Creepshow, he directed that, you know, in collaboration with Stephen King's writing. But yeah, George A. Romero, just shame he's gone, because it would have been cool to see perhaps another Dead film from him or whatnot. But yeah, George A. Romero at number 5, awesome director. I'd put him in the top 10 for like Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead alone. They're just absolute go-to zombie classics. Probably the 2 of the best zombie movies ever made. Don't get me wrong, shows like The Walking Dead have been good in stages and at times, but they don't even, they're pale in comparison to these, in my opinion. Coming at number 5, The Godfather of Gore, and of course it's Lucio Fulci. Another one I've sort of didn't watch a lot of when I was younger, but the past sort of, what is it, like 8 years or something, I've really had a fun time discovering his you know, his filmography and going through it. And I have to say, yeah, there's some stinkers in there, and I haven't seen everything at all, because he's done a lot of non-horror and, you know, dramas and giallos and things. But from what I have seen, stuff like this one, of course, City of the Living Dead, awesome gore, crazy movie, a little bit all over the place narratively, but I enjoyed it. And of course, you've got stuff like Lizard in a Woman's Skin, you know, The Beyond, Zombie, or Zombie Flesh Eaters, if you want to call it that. House by the Cemetery, a personal favourite of mine from him. Enigma, Cat in the Brain. Just trying to think of enough of his movies off the top of my head. I'm sure The New York Ripper, grimy little grisly slasher movie, but really liked it. But yeah, Lucio Fulci is just the godfather of gore. Does some nasty special effects, you know, it all looks very grim and gnarly, but so good, man. And his movies are just a joy to watch for the gore, for some of the outlandish acting, just some of the ideas. Awesome director, love him. Okay, so I feel like I've missed something here. Did I miss something? Stupid me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So Fulci was 4, actually, excuse me. I'll number this. I'll edit it after and put numbers at the top of the screen. So, excuse me saying number 5. Fulci was number 4. So I'll do a quick rundown so far to 4. Because I get that mixed up because I do these videos very off the cuff. So I went Roger Eggers at 10. Brian De Palma at 9. The body horror expert David Cronenberg at 8. Mario Bava at 7. Roman Polanski at 6. George A. Romero at 5. And Lucio Fulci at 4. Not 5, sorry. So, just excuse me, a bit of a scatterbrain myself. Coming in at number 3, a guy who had a hell of a run, like sort of from 1979 to about 1990. His films after that were good, some of them. Like, I'm a big fan of one of them in particular, which is In the Mouth of Madness. Have you figured out who it is yet? So coming in at number 3 has to be one of the masters of horror, and it has to be John Carpenter. And what a special effects filled masterpiece The Thing is. Just love the location on the base in Antarctica, and yeah, just a winter go-to movie for me, you know, with that kind of aesthetic. And then he's done stuff like this one, The Fog. I mean, he's not in the top spot, Escape from New York, which I love. Great score as well. And like, don't get me wrong, I put Carpenter as 3 because I feel like that's how I feel. But in no way, he's probably the one who's had the best run as a director. He's kind of 1979 from Halloween, which I do have here actually as well. Absolute slasher classic. Everyone knows that normally. From like 79 to about 90, he just had a hell of a run. Just 10, you know, a decade of just great films. I mean, you got Big Trouble in Little China around in the mid-80s. Not overly keen on that or fussed. But overall, though, what a run. Like, what a decade John Carpenter had. And he still did some good movies after. They just weren't quite on the level of that decade. Coming in at number 2, another Italian maestro. Another one, I didn't really watch a lot of his films as a young person, you know, as a teenager or anything, but I've come on to him sort of past decade, and yeah, he's one of the best. He's got especially his earliest stuff. Again, he's one of those who have a better earlier filmography, and that's Dario Argento. Got Suspiria here, the 4K, looks absolutely out of this world in ultra high definition. It's such a great film as well. He had the group Goblin do a lot of his scores, and they did a spectacular job. I just love listening to Goblin, even though stuff that isn't movie scores. I think they're a great band. Love listening to Goblin. That's another one from Argento. The follow-up to Suspiria, Inferno. Love to get a decent 4K of that. But yeah, Argento, absolutely. He could have been my number 1 because his filmography from like his debut feature, Bird with a Crystal Plumage, about, I think that's about 71, is it 73 or something? Not, you know, correct me if I'm wrong. I know it's around then. 70s to about, again, 1990-ish, when he, like, Trauma was when he did Trauma. I thought his filmography dropped off a little bit, but up until then, you got films like Terror at the Opera, also known as Opera, Tenebrae, Phenomena, Deep Red, the 2 I've mentioned, Suspiria and Inferno, Four Flies on Grey Velvet, another great giallo. So many spectacular movies in his filmography, especially earlier on, you know, the first 20 years of his career, just out of this worldly good. He's got great, you know, he has great shots, great cinematography in a lot of his films, great flair. The horror's there with the violence and the gore, you know, you got the twists in the giallos. Sometimes you see them coming, sometimes you don't. But, like, you know, he's just a maestro. He's just had tremendous flair, and he's just one of the best directors ever, in my opinion, all genres. Find a better looking film with a nicer colour palette than Suspiria. I mean, Inferno gives it a run for its money, but that's another Argento film. Coming in at number 1 then, my favourite director, and there's a number of reasons I've picked him as my favourite director. He has a great mind for horror, I think. He's always come up with good ideas. He had a fairly long career, a very long career. Some of his stuff can be a miss. I don't love everything he's done. Seems like, from when you watch interviews and documentaries as well, seems like a really likeable, nice human being as well. Love his ideas, love his direction on a lot of his stuff. And overall, I just feel like, as a director, my favourite director is Wes Craven. And I picked out The People Under the Stairs. This is a bit... It's well known, like, by horror fans and stuff. Maybe your casual movie fan might not be as aware as People Under the Stairs, perhaps as like Scream or A Nightmare on Elm Street. But there's another couple of films he's done that are just... What an idea, A Nightmare on Elm Street. And I mean, if you know the story behind it, he was reading a newspaper article about people perishing in their sleep, and he thought of the whole idea of Freddy Krueger and the dream demon who's out to get you, and he come up with that idea from reading the newspaper. Great idea, guy, great director. Last House on the Left is a grimy, nasty film, but what a debut that was, because it shocked people, and it was banned for a number of years in some countries and territories. So he did his job there, making his mark in horror. If you're going to do some good horror, why not shock people? Like, they need to be shocked. They need that. Like, they need that. We don't want safe stuff. We don't want safe. And Wes Craven, I feel like he was a visionary, pushed the envelope, pushed the boundaries, especially with films like A Nightmare on Elm Street. Absolutely brilliantly phenomenal idea. I mean, just look what it did. Made the franchise, made Freddy Krueger a household name. The franchise was huge. You know, he got loads of sequels. Yes, they do decrease in quality as the franchise goes on. But what an idea to begin with, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Just, you know, look at the icon Freddy Krueger became, played by Robert Englund, just from Wes Craven's conceived idea. Some other good, okay ones he's done, like Summer of Fear, starring Linda Blair. It's not bad. I think that's a TV movie. You've got Deadly Friend. That's a fun one. There's the werewolf movie Cursed. Not bad. The Scream franchise is great overall. I know Wes Craven only did the first 4. Shame when he passed that he didn't have his fingertips on the 5th and 6th, although they were good movies, don't get me wrong. I did enjoy those. You've got... What else have you got from Wes Craven? There's enough. I'm trying to think. There's even Vampire in Brooklyn starring Eddie Murphy. That's kind of a fun comedy. I mean, it's not up there in the upper echelon of Wes Craven, but yeah, top director, it's got to be Wes Craven, just as a whole, with his ideas and direction, and just my favourite director, just overall. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed this video. Anyway, I'll be back with another one at some point. My next video will be My Collection Has Divorced Me, because my collection's divorcing me and it's walking out. So my collection divorced me. It's not clickbait, none of that. It's straight up, my collection's divorced me. Yeah, I'm in the middle of filming the complete collection. It's a bit of an undertaking, so bear with me on that. I will drop it at the weekend or a little bit after, when I'm happy with the video, when I've sort of spliced and edited it together, because I'm having to do it in parts, because I filmed half an hour straight of one bookcase. That's how long it took. Half an hour. Thanks for watching, guys. What are some of your favourite directors? If you would like, drop a comment. I'll get back to you at some point. It'd be great to hear some of your favourite directors and things like that. So thanks for watching. See you on the next video.